Hello everybody, Ninjas here and welcome, not back, welcome to Sakamoto Days, a brand new show on the channel. I heard a lot of good about it. I heard that people were really hyped for it, because the manga is apparently amazing and has some amazing action and whatnot, so I'm wondering how that's gonna look on, on the screen in animation. I heard that the trailer got a bit of a mixed reception. Supposedly, it was fairly like slow paced and wasn't showing off the kind of animation that people were hoping for this series to have, but apparently the anime itself is better than the trailer. So we'll see how that's gonna look. I'm going into it completely blind. I just know that the main dude is like he used to be an assassin or something. Yeah, he used to be an assassin, I think, and then he just kind of went for the like slow family life, right? He found a wife. He has some kids, I think, and he's just now this maybe not old, but middle aged. Chubby dude with glasses instead of being an assassin, but he keeps his skills, and something happens that has him use his skills again. That's the basic premise that I know, but besides that, basically nothing. So I'm really interested in seeing where it's gonna go, and my eyelashes are being a menace as always. They're supposed to protect your eye, but mine just didn't get the memo, I guess, and they just keep falling into my eyes instead. Yeah. If you're unfamiliar with the channel, if you don't know how I do the videos here, this one is gonna be a little bit longer. Because first we're gonna go, well, first is the intro that we have right now, then we're gonna watch the episode with subtitles down there so that YouTube doesn't copy strike this video. Then we're gonna watch it again here in a corner. I'm gonna be going frame by frame, maybe for some animation, maybe stopping by somewhere to talk at length about something that came to my mind. Then also in the corner we're gonna go through the stuff, the seiyuu, the studio, what have they made, etc., etc., which is why this episode is gonna take a little bit longer. Then I'm gonna share my opinion, my feelings about this episode, and that's where the video is gonna end. Sounds good? Sounds good. Everything's gonna be timestamped, of course, in the chapters at the bottom seek bar of YouTube or whatever you wanna call it, so you can just go to the bit that interests you. Although I would appreciate if you watch the whole video. So, yeah. I guess without further ado, we should just start watching it, right? Shall we? I'm using a version by Ember, and I believe this is the Netflix rip, so it's probably gonna start with the Netflix logo and the doom, or whatever is the sound they do. So if you have a different version, you might wanna sync it up differently to mine. I mean, you're gonna see the subs, you're gonna see a bit of the anime itself down there, so you will be able to sync it up to your own copy. So now, without further ado, we should start watching, and to do that you're gonna need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, smacked my mic, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching Sakamoto Days episode 1 in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, there's the Netflix logo. A Netflix series, yes. I didn't figure it out from the logo. Thank you for telling me. Ooh, that's some nice lighting on this pistol. I don't think it was CG, was it? And I'm gonna ask. I'm assuming this is Sakamoto in his prime. And there we go. For some reason, the default was dubbing with no subs, but now we're good. Yeah, certainly looks like Sakamoto in his prime. Hmm. Little bit more brutal than I expected. Those guns look weird. They look like a photo of a gun with, like, drawing filter on it. Is the narrator voiced by the same dude who voiced Zetsu in Yojo Senki? Yeah. Yeah, it's gotta be him. Can't remember the name, but. And that's when he decided to end his assassination days. Yeah. And let himself go. Yep. Wearing a slim shirt. Oh, opening straight in the first episode. So we got the basic premise in under 3 minutes. Look at all those main characters. Another one. Either future members of Sakamoto's team of Avengers. Probably because those dudes look like villains. And the first three main characters didn't. That's some nice animation in the OP. Deer Man? Sure. Why not? Okay, so like student and mentor kind of relationship. That's the vibes I'm getting from those two. Yeah. I mean, deal's a deal, kid. Oh, shit, ink. That's no bueno. Oh. That's worse. No, I don't think so. Oh. Okay, just his imagination. uh, I thought we were going 0 to 100 in record time. Nice stereo. Can you read minds? Oh, apparently yes. Apparently yes. I thought he maybe like read his intentions from the way his muscles tensed or something, but no. Literally a psychic. Love? In the name of love? Does a man need a better reason to change his life? Ah, smoking's bad for you. And yeah, no smoking zone. No, he just doesn't like smoking. Are we going for a little bit Saitama and Genos kind of relationship? Damn, he's good with everything. Sure, why not? Uh, hey, the kid finally hit something. You didn't even light that cigarette. uh, yeah, definitely getting some little bit of like Genos and Saitama vibes. It's probably Boss who wants Sakamoto back. Yep, not just his initiative. No, I don't think that one is doable. Hmm, he was a member of a gang. Hmm, I don't know why, but I had the impression that he was like one of the good guys, quote unquote, in his heyday, but apparently not. And we probably have our story set up for us, right? His former gang comes after him, tries to kill him, and well, he can't allow for that to happen, right? So he has to go against the gang, be proactive, and secure his family by getting rid of whoever will be wanting to threaten them. Yeah, I think we got ourselves a story. The guns look really weird. Like, I can't tell if they're drawn or CG or a photo with a filter. They look like all those three things at the same time. Yeah, maybe don't be that open with it. I have a very similar looking store in my area. Like the same exact shelves, and it's packed so densely that you can barely squeeze between them. It's an Asian store as well, with a bunch of Asian food. Best place to get my sriracha. Of course. Someone's gonna have to clean it up. Something tells me it's gonna be Shin. Oh, that's interesting. Just gonna knock him out with a lozenge? Lozenge? Or however you pronounce it. That's got some firepower! Should have microwaved it. Damn! Someone's definitely gonna have to clean it up. That's a lot of merchandise gone. Yeah, as I said, unlikely that someone's gonna be able to take him down. It's like those stories of the villain raising the main protagonist as the ultimate killer of gods, and in their ultimate plan, the last part is killing the protagonist. How the fuck do you intend to do that? That's a nice looking dinner. Mega Mori sounds nice, actually. Yeah. How do you train to withstand poison, mate? uh, no, wait. There was that. Who was it? I think it was some Russian Tsar or someone who would be like microdosing himself with poison to gain resistance, right? There was something like that. Yes, exactly. He even has a shirt that says retired. You probably need a new job. And someone's gotta clean it up. Not going for that angle. Interesting. Just a genuinely warm welcome. I thought he's gonna be like. I thought he's gonna say that, oh, Sakamoto is impossible to defeat, I couldn't do it, I couldn't even approach him, whatever. But no, he's straight into Dogeza of let him live. Unlikely. Duh. Yes, his nickname is literally the psychic. Oh, he bugged him. Of course, he bugged him. Secret passcode to a whole ass armory? Yep. Whole ass armory. We're going full John Wick here. And the guns still look weird. That's great. Taser. Sure. If you wanna be non-lethal. A fucking rocket launcher? Is that not a bit of an overkill? uh, yes, one guy who can read minds. Okay, so there's a range limit. I'm glad we're not going like completely for a non-lethal route. I would fully expect Sakamoto to want to be non-lethal, but I like that Shin is willing to spill some blood. Sakamoto time? Sure enough. That's some range on this taser. It's not how tasers work, you know? That's a fucking taser shotgun or something. Ooh, nice music. Instant transmission. And he's willing to spill some blood as well. Good. I was worried he's just gonna do a Batman and just gonna punch them in the face and stop there. I mean, there's plenty of punching, but there's also plenty of blood. And at least some death, I would assume. Oh, now we're getting serious. That's good music. Okay. He's willing to deal some death. I like it. Look at those bulging muscles. Muscles still exist, even if they're hidden under a layer of fat, I'll have you know. Yeah. Smart to plant it in a gun. Here's your apron. You work here now. I mean, that's a good deal. Well, probably get you like a 2 tatami room and some food. He eats all of it. I could go for some cup ramen right now, you know? Ah, that's cool. He found a new use for his abilities. Yeah, I'd imagine. Much less risk of dying. Yeah. And that's the episode. Okay. That was fun. Simultaneously, exactly what I expected, and nothing like what I expected. But we'll talk about it at length in the discussion segment, as always. So it seems like it's not just gonna be Sakamoto versus his former gang, because his former gang basically is non existent right now. Various different gangs trying to go after him. Like, kind of a gang of the week deal. Yeah, that could be it. Also, why did that bird had an ankle monitor on its neck? It's a dangerous convict, eh? Netflix. Alright, and a bunch of what? Netflix credits? Yeah, Netflix credits. I don't rightly care about them. I care about watching this episode again, though. So let's do just that, shall we? Yeah, Netflix. Oh, no, that's not opening. That's just the backstory. Uh, I expected the backstory to last a little longer. Like, at least half the episode, if not more. I imagined it would be something like basically the entire most of the episode, like 15 minutes of it or so, being his like past life, and then the last bits being, and now he is here, but he doesn't know that his former employees are coming after him. Dun dun dun, cliffhanger. Right? I expected something along those lines. But no, we got the backstory established very quickly and very succinctly, succinctly, whatever is the word here that I wanted to use. Yeah, uh, really quickly and densely established backstory and pretty much everything that happened as a slideshow. But the fact of the matter is, we don't really need to know all that much, do we? Right? All we need to know is that he's a legendary assassin, that he fell in love, decided to forgo his former employment for being a family man, and that's where he is right now, right? That's all we need to know, really. Whatever is there to learn about his past life more, we're probably gonna learn about it as we go on with flashbacks, with some things perhaps left for us to infer, with new characters appearing, saying, "Oh, Mr. Sakamoto, I remember you from the mission in Volgograd," or whatever, right? Probably something like that. Uh, Opening is, take it or leave it. Honestly, it's not like super amazing. Good animation, yeah. The song doesn't blow my ass off. It's a perfectly serviceable opening. Nothing that I would be, awaiting every week, like Dan Da Dan opening, for example, for sure. But it's certainly nothing that I would be skipping or wanting to skip. I don't skip openings in my reactions for obvious reasons. It would fuck up your syncing. Yeah, okay, let's use auto exposure because the sun is slowly going down. So the lightning conditions are gonna change dynamically. And he is here right now. Sakamoto working at owning a mom and pop store with very, chill, idyllic, slow life, right? Just sitting behind the register. A kid wants to show off and wants to get a free juice box. And that's probably the most exciting thing that happened this entire week, right? Like this kind of a life. I can appreciate it, honestly. And those shelves, they really look like the store nearby. Now, granted, they only have food, they don't have like cleaning supplies and whatnot, but those shelves and products, yeah. Calligraphy ink. How did it even happen that the bottle came unscrewed? It was not a very well made bottle, I guess. It just popped open. And of course, Sakamoto steps in with this nice little bit. Yeah. They got me here. They really got me here. I really thought we're going like 0 to 100 in no time. And maybe there is a bit of like. How do I say it? A bit of like dark comedy bit where his wife and daughter are just so used to it that they don't even react particularly much, and they're like, "Oh no, honey, we're gonna have to clean the blood of the floor again. I told you to not do that. I told you strangling would be better and cleaner," or something like that. I thought maybe we were going for, or I expected some sort of a misdirection, like Sakamoto used a pen with red ink, and it wasn't blood splatter, it was just ink splatter. And he didn't really stab him, he just crushed or cracked the pen so that red ink spilled to scare him, or something along those lines. But no, it was just in his mind. And Shin was able to see it. Yeah, he is an Esper, alright. The legendary hitman, yeah, no more. I mean, still a legendary hitman, if he wanted to be, but he doesn't want to be. Simple as that. He's still who he used to be, just doesn't want to actively partake in it. And of course, he would be like skilled at everything, jumping on trees, pruning them, feeding children. Whether he learned that at the assassin school or from having to care for his daughter, I don't know, but that's a skill he has. Turning a single inflatable ball into 2 inflatable balls. Now that's nothing short of magic. But I wanted to take a bit more of a look at the backgrounds here. This just looks like a photo with some filters applied on it. And I don't know if that's actually the case. Or is it like the style they're going for? I don't know. It really looks like either a photo or a 3D render with a like cell shading filter applied to it. I can't shake off this feeling. And what was the here? This also looks vaguely like a photo. The trees in particular, the swing and the other playing implement. They actually look, as they're supposed to, quote unquote. But the backgrounds in general really look uh, like backgrounds from a cheap-ish visual novel, where they just take a photo, throw in a couple of filters in Photoshop, and just send it. Not every background though, because this looks perfectly fine. It's mostly the vegetation. Mostly the vegetation. Although the car also looks weird like that. Yeah, those here in the front especially, you can see a lot of aliasing on this line, and the lines in general are way too thin for something that would otherwise be drawn. And the lights also look like something where the reflections had some filter applied to them. Not a huge fan of those backgrounds, to be honest with you. Do we have to? Right. Certainly he doesn't wanna do it. I fully expected this to be another comedic moment, like him being super serious and then, come on, do we have to? And the boss kind of playing into it. But no, the boss is completely serious about the task. I expected something to happen with those people here, those like vaguely, what's the word? Uh, fuck, I forgot the word for them. Not ruffians, but ruffians is the best word that comes to my mind right now, so I'm gonna say ruffians. Not those ruffian, something to do with those ruffians here. Maybe they're gonna attack Sheen or something like that, but no. No. We get a bit of exposition, really, by showing that Sheen is actually, pretty, uh, pretty built and he's capable in his own right. He lives a very lonely life, right? He's the only one at his apartment. He doesn't really have much in his fridge, just some like Soylent in a bag or whatever it is. Probably some like whatchamacallit, not like astronaut food, basically. Some juice boxes and some beer, and that's it. And an empty tub of supplements, I think, in the background. Those guns really look weird. And the fact that they look weird is itself weird, because as opposed to the backgrounds, this gun actually looks proper drawn. Like, I have absolutely no doubts that the handle and the like bottom of this gun is drawn, but there's something about the top of it, like those dotted kind of lines and those highlights that really looks like it would be a photo with a filter applied to it. But maybe it's just the art style they're going for. Because his head on the right side also gets this light blue line art instead of black to create some contrast from the dark background. I don't know. Maybe it's something like that. Very detailed newspaper. Robbery suspect still at large. Uh, Tell me that's gonna be the second episode or the third episode. This really feels like a Chekhov's gun. That there is a robbery suspect still at large and it's gonna be Sakamoto who's gonna stop it. Probably exactly what's gonna happen. The robbery suspect is gonna try to rob Sakamoto's, and that's gonna be their last attempt. Yeah, not that easy to defeat the old man. Actually, nice animation here. I like those effects, this effect of everything going black and white, completely desaturated, and only the bits that matter being highlighted with color, right? The shooter and what he shot. Yeah, very cool effect. I'm certainly liking the dynamicism, if that's a word, of action here and of animation. Like, seeing how people reacted to the trailer made me think that this is gonna be like One Punch Man season 2 or the what was it? Way of the House Husband, right? That was just a PowerPoint slideshow of manga panels colorized or whatever was the deal with that. But no, it's it's anything but. It's anything but. Whoever was worried about the animation quality in this show should not be worried about it. Uh, I think they simply allocated the resources smartly. I think that's why the backgrounds can look kind of iffy at times, right? Like a photo with a filter or a 3D render with a filter or something like that, because maybe they are, but most of the manpower and most of the budget were allocated into the animation. Wouldn't surprise me if that was the what you might call it, the like balancing act they had to go for. Add some really nice food on this table. What do we have here? Let me take a look. Yeah. Some fried chicken, maybe karage or something. Omelette, fried pork, I want to say, with some julienne veggies. At the bottom, it looks like wakame salad with pickled ginger, some salad with bacon bits or pork rinds or something like that. Potato salad, maybe, with carrots, cucumbers, ham, and cherry tomatoes. And in the top left, I don't know, it looks like surimi, but not. I don't know what it is. But yeah, that's some nice eating. That's some good eating. Yeah, he absolutely wants to protect these little moments of everyday life. Thank you, please come again. I like that Sakamoto is a man of few words. In general, I like this archetype of a character where he shows a lot in his actions, right? You can't make him boastful, you can't make him, I don't know, angry, you can't make him whatever by simply not giving him any voice. So it really emphasizes this like stoic and calm and collected nature that he has, the fact that he barely says anything. And when he says something, it's something important and something that he couldn't have conveyed through actions, right? Like even here, he didn't say, "You're welcome back anytime." No, he just pointed at the sign. Cool, I like it. This is not how I expected this to go. I expected Shin to maybe say, "Listen, I tried, but Sakamoto is genuinely impossible to kill. I can't do that. I'm simply unable to. I tried. He just knocked me out and then fed me as a humiliation or whatever. It's really not worth it, boss." Or something along those lines. But he didn't even try to, like, protect his hide. He just went straight into the Geza, asking the boss to let Sakamoto live, and even being willing to trade his life for Sakamoto's. I can appreciate that, for sure, but it's certainly not what I expected. And the gun is here looking weird again. I think it's mostly because of those tiny little speckles of like specular highlight. It's really kind of hard to believe that it was actually a 2D artist like drawing those 3 pixels of a highlight, right? I think that's why it gives me the vibe of not being drawn, but rather a render or a photo. Right? Like, look here. Who in their right mind would be drawing all those tiny little white light pixels on this gun? No, the gun would just be a dark block with some lighter bits, but certainly not those tiny little intricate highlights. That's what happens with photos that are taken at 4K resolution, and then filter is applied and they get shrunken. So the finger wide highlight on the photo gets shrunk into like 3 pixels, and that's why it looks so segmented and grainy even. That's what happens with 3D renders. They are not really concerned with how much space what takes on the screen, right? So if a highlight is to take a single pixel on the screen, the 3D render will render that single pixel. Meanwhile, 2D artists, when they draw things, they tend to omit things like that, right? Like, I don't know, there are no highlights on the buttons in those guys' jackets. There are no little tiny pixels signifying the stitching inside of those jackets. This dude on the left doesn't have buttons on his shirt, right? That's how it's done. Tiny little details that basically just kind of get lost in the scene at all and don't really matter for perception are omitted. Not the case with the guns. That's why they look so weird. And also plenty of aliasing I see on the floor, for example. Right? Like here, this line on the floor has a lot of aliasing, which tells me it's a texture stretched on a 3D plane and rendered without any anti-aliasing applied to it, or just a texture stretched and squashed in Photoshop. Although Photoshop should be better at applying anti-aliasing, so I don't know what's the deal with that. And this is cool. This is legit. A really cool scene. I always like the concept of like a hidden armory. This is great. And what does he have in his armory? Because there are a couple of interesting bits and bobs. There's plenty of guns, for sure. There is a hatchet or an axe. There is a spade or a shovel. I see a gas mask. I see a branch cutter, sekator in Polish. I don't know what does it. I don't know whether it has a proper name in English, so I'm gonna say branch cutter. There is something that looks like a hand rivet tool, a can opener, I think. Some pliers, some a sickle for like herb gathering, couple more different pliers, a whatchamacallit, uh I'm forgetting words today. Something's wrong. um Staple gun, yeah, stapler. Anything else that doesn't quite belong? Rakes in the bottom left. Yeah, and I think like hedge cutting uh, scissors as well. That's cool, actually. That's cool because it shows uh, just how far his new life encroached on his life as an assassin. Instead of this armory just being guns, he also stores other things useful around the house here. Because of course, right? He probably didn't have anywhere to store that shovel, so he thought, oh, I have some space in my armory, I'm just gonna put it there. He didn't have any space for the stapler, or for the rakes, or for the hatchet, or whatever. And he thought, oh, I actually could get rid of this, like, Beretta that I no longer use. I'm just gonna throw it into the river, and I'm gonna put the stapler there because I need somewhere to put it. Right? I like it. I like that it's not pure just wall of guns, wall of weapons, but there are some household items here. It says a lot. It says a lot. Also interesting that the taser isn't as weird as the gun. Hmm. The cartridge for the taser, though, does have those weird highlights. Interesting. Yeah, those guns really just look over detailed. I think they're drawn. I don't think they're CG renders. I don't think they're photos with a filter. It's just a weird art style, or rather a weird focus on the guns that makes them stand out from the rest of the art style in the show. Right? Kind of like uh what was the show? Can't remember what show I'm thinking of. But I think this season there is a show where there's like a metric fuck ton of attention put to hair, and I think the hair are even like 3D and simulated with physics and whatnot, and the rest of the art style is just, normal, but the hair are just completely wild. It seems like something like that. There's a lot of focus put on the guns where there perhaps didn't need to be. Curious. Here, this guy in the background holding a gun. That's how guns should look. If they all looked like this, there would be absolutely no like, uh, what call it, uncanny valley kind of effect to them. I'm glad we're seeing some blood being spilled. That's cool. I really was afraid that we're gonna go for the, oh, I'm a family man now, I no longer kill people or whatever. No, no, we're absolutely not going for that. Like, sure, when he can get a non-lethal takedown, he does it for reasons, I guess, but he's not unwilling to spill blood. That's good. I like it. Yeah, I was afraid here at the beginning, where he arrived with the taser, that, oh, sure, he's just gonna go for the non-lethal route. We're just gonna completely like cheapen this assassin world. We're gonna go for the whole, oh, the main character cannot kill people because killing people is bad, that so many anime suffers from. Like, really, the amount of anime that are straight up afraid of having the main character just fucking execute a guy on the spot is staggering. They even make changes compared to the manga or the light novel or whatever the source material is to remove those bits. In Shield Hero, first example that comes to mind. In Shield Hero, when Raftalia was facing the fat guy, the slave trader, right? Uh, in the manga, she actually killed him and threw him out of the window. In the anime, he just kind of stumbled backwards and fell out of the window himself, because we can't have Raftalia, one of the main characters, do a boo-boo to someone, right? We just can't have that. So I'm glad that Sakamoto Days doesn't seem to be falling for that. That's always nice to see. That said, yeah, tasers don't work that way. It's gotta be like some supercharged Tesla coil assassin taser or something, because tasers don't don't work that way. If you don't know how a taser works, it doesn't actually like shoot electricity or whatever it is that people believe. Taser has a cartridge. That cartridge has two spools of very thin wire and two darts in it, and it shoots those darts. Those darts pierce clothing, maybe even pierce skin, and then electrical charge is sent through those wires into the darts. Right? That's how a taser works. So it's just a single target thing, and if you miss, well, you gotta take out the cartridge, put in a new cartridge, and try again. So taser is not just a chain lightning gun like it's here. But sure, he's a former assassin. He probably has some cranked up taser that he got from his queue or whatever. I really was afraid that he's gonna go for just non-lethal takedowns. I love the music here, I gotta say. And also super cool effect on the ground just shattering underneath him. Just casually bouncing bullets off with chopsticks. The moment he pulled those chopsticks, I really was, oh, he's just gonna go for the defensive. He's gonna just be catching and deflecting bullets. He may be gonna like knock one or two guys out, but he's not gonna kill someone. He's not gonna spill blood or whatever, because it's a promise that he made to himself when his daughter was born or whatever sort of bullshit like that. No, not at all. Like, sure, at the beginning he's doing that fairly less than lethal takedowns. Yeah, that had to have been lethal. But at the end, he completely forgoes that. That's cool. That's good. Great animation, great action. Honestly. But and yeah, this is the moment where all of my worries were alleviated. Blood. Blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. Now, it didn't have to be lethal, granted, but the blood splatters are roughly at the, at the point of their necks, so then again, the wound isn't really shown, so they might all very well be alive. I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully we're not going for the, the former assassin who completely swore off killing people. Yeah, you work here now. You don't get a choice. You get paid a couple hundred yen an hour. You get paid overtime. He's a good boss. And Sheen is gonna be a very good clerk. Just being able to read the minds of the patrons of the store, and knowing exactly where anything is and knowing exactly what they're looking for. Yeah, that's cool. He found his new calling. And just like that, the episode is over. Alrighty then. Let me open the browser to Sakamoto Days, and let me this one, yeah. Let's go through. Let me take off those headphones, and let's go through the stuff and anything stuff related. Interesting that it's classified as an ONA. 11 episodes as well. Studio TMS Entertainmento. This studio is known for... Oh, part 2, already been announced. That's cool. So it's gonna be a split core kind of deal. The studio is known for Lupin the Third, the movie, Dr. Stone Science Future, Conan x McDonald's, sure, why not? Boku no Tsuma wa Kanjo ga Nai, Conan vs. Kaito Kid, Dr. Stone, Undead Unluck, Bakugan, Hanma Baki, Nagatoro-san second season, more Lupin. Yeah, they made a couple of good shows, for sure. Yeah, more Baki, Nomad. Alright, that's the studio. Let's take a look at the staff. How many people are listed? That's a lot of people listed. We're certainly not gonna go through all of them. Absolutely not. Holy shit. Holy mother of Christ. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Original creator, of course, the most important bit. Yuto Suzuki, who was a writer, illustration, and creator of Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto, I'm gonna assume that's like the OG one-shot. Worked on some One Piece commemorative piece, Garaku and Locker Room, that are unknown to me. Director, assistant director, and art director. And sound director, why not? Let's take care of all the directors in one shot. Masaki Watanabe, the director on Sakamoto Days, also directed anything I would recognize here. Code Geass, uni director and storyboarder. Spice and Wolf, the OG storyboard on a single episode of it, and not really any shows I would recognize, I'm afraid. Akihiro Saito, assistant director on Sakamoto Days, also episode director and storyboard on Witch from Mercury, and episode director on some episodes of season 2 of Witch of Mercury. Sorano Otoshimono, uni director. Lupin, Love Hina, sequel, digital photography, and not much more. Interesting. Yukiko Maruyama, art director and artboard. Also art director for Konosuba Season 3, Overlord Season 4, Boku no Hero Academia, King's Raid, Yaha Ore, more Boku no Hero Academia, Neverland, One Punch Man Season 2, Boogie Pop, Macross Delta, Overlord, Sekai Seifuku Boryaku no Zvezda, Planet Ace. That's plenty. That's plenty that I actually recognize. And Jin Aketakawa, the sound director on Sakamoto Days, also on Mao 2099, and then the Unlock Special, Dr. Stone, Kuroshitsuji, the new one, Card Fight, Dr. Stone, Slimy Sakai, Hatarakuma Osama, second season, and Witch from Mercury as well, and plenty other shows, Nagatoro-san, Kaguya-sama, Isekai Oji-san even. Who else do I want to check out? Director of photography, sure, have we not checked him out? Bolun Kai, also director of photography on Beastars, Season 2, Fruit Basket, Beastars, Bleach, and not much more. Who else would I want to check out? Executives, producers, advertising, I don't really particularly care all that much. Assistants, art design, that's a lot of art designers. Theme song performance for OP and ED, why not? Opening made by Vondi. who also did the theme song for Boku no Hero Academia, the movie, Spy Family Season 2 Ending, Chainsaw Man Ending 1, and Osama Ranking OP2, and One Piece film. Cotton Candy, ED, just this one. Let's see. Chief Animation Director for just episodes 2 and 3, and Chief Animation Director for 1, 2, 3, and for episode 2. Sure. Yukiko Ban, also some sort of yaoi hands show. Also, Yowamushi Pedal. Not many more shows I would recognize. Well, Shingeki no Kyojin. Beelzebub! Would you look at that? Beelzebub mentioned. Amazing show. Go and watch it. It's genuinely a great show. Cut kinda short. It was axed at some point, I believe, but they still got a few episodes to wrap the story up, so it actually does have a somewhat decent ending. But what matters is the meat of it. So it's not often that I recommend a show that I know get axed, but I can wholeheartedly recommend this one. Durarara, second season, Bakemonogatari even, Full Metal Alchemist, plenty other shows. Masaki Hinata, Negapo the Angler, Overlord 4, Shingeki no Kyojin, Psycho Pass, Sankarea, Fate, Black Lagoon, Beck, Full Metal Alchemist, Hellsing, Slayers, and Masaru Shindo, Blue Lock, Fruit Basket, Yaha Ore, 2 seasons of it seems. Sakura-san no Pet Nakanojo, that is also a very fun show. If you like romance done well, Durarara as well, and others. Who else do I want to check out? Well, animation director would be nice. Would be nice. That's a lot of animation directors. Yukiko Ban, Yumi Nakayama, Yoshinori Deno, Miyako Kamiya, Hisao Muramatsu, Kumiko Shishido, Yuki Tsugihashi, Mina Osawa just ED. So, sorry. Yoshiyuki Nojo, Aki Kumada, Airi Hariu, Hiroko Shigekuni. Yeah, let's go with that. Yoshiyuki Nojo did the Tondemo Skill the Isekai, did Mahotsukai no Yomesh, Steins Gate, Soul Eater, Full Metal Alchemist, Aki Kumada, Dr. Stone, Gleipnir, Shadow's House, Yagate Kimi no Naru, Shingeki no Kyojin, Soul Eater, Airi Hariu. Mostly the same things. Dr. Stone, Initial D, that's curious, Fruit Basket, Hiroko Shigekuni did Rise no Atelier, Kaguya-sama, Jigokuraku, Tondemo Skill the Isekai as well, Doll's Frontline, curious, and plenty other shows. Iruma-kun, Yukiko Ban, this weird anime that looks weird and probably is weird, lots of cycling anime, and Non Biori, Blood Sea, Beelzebub again, Yumi Nakayama, Dr. Stone, Visual Prison, One Punch Man Season 2, Banana Fish, Saiki K, this weird looking anime with yaoi hands and yaoi proportions, Gothic. I thought it's Rosen Maiden for a moment, but no, it's Gothic. Yoshinori Deno, Sakugan Fate, Fruit Basket, Rosen Maiden, there it is. There's Rosen Maiden. Spice and Wolf, Bakemonogatari, Shakugan no Shana, Uatare Mono, Rosen Maiden Troyment as well. Miyako Kamiya, Crayon Shinchan, Paribikome, Adachi to Shimamura, Hisao Muramatsu, Muramatsu. Dr. Stone, Ninja Kamui, Tondemo Skill Isekai, Nier Automata, and plenty others. Kumiko Shishido, Kusuriana Hidorigoto, both seasons. Witch from Mercury, both seasons. Single episode roles, it seems. More Dr. Stone, Full Metal Alchemist, Conan, Yuki Tsugihashi, Dr. Stone, Conan, Monogatari, Gothic, again, Full Metal Alchemist. Mostly people working on the same things, it seems. Key animation, second key animation, in-betweens, digital paint, photography, special effects, 2D works, production committee, web production committee, overseas license. I'm getting lost in those people, so I think I'm gonna stop it here, because we would spend a whole hour just browsing through those. Let's instead check out the characters. And the save. A lot of people we haven't met yet. Oh, sorry, Hayami is gonna have a role. That's cool. Sakamoto voiced by Tomokazu Sugita and Shin voiced by Nobunaga Shimazaki. Tomokazu Sugita, voice of Sasaki in Sasaki to Pichan. Some certain parallels, I guess, maybe between them. Middle-aged men in the center of the action. Not quite, not really. Tauro in Dandadan. Sengaku in Isekai Shikkaku. Ren in Konosuke wa Fukanzen Sugiru Gintoki. Rudeus Greyrat. Who else do we have here? Gintoki, probably his biggest role out of those. Ngapoji from Oyuki no Kaina. Who else do we have here? Yeah, more Rudeus. And a lot of other people. Escanor from Nanatsu no Taizai. And Lizard Priest from Goblin Slayer. And plenty other roles. And Nobunaga Shimazaki also voiced... will I be able to recognize anybody? Someone in Blue Lock. I see. Someone in Urusei Yatsura. Someone in Jujutsu Kaisen. Not really anybody I would recognize, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm just not great at recognizing male characters in anime, because let's be honest, they all look vaguely similar. Pretty much the same cut and same facial structure and the same everything. He voiced Baki in Baki. Cool. Oh, Tekia in Arc Knights. That's nice. And Shido in Data Live. And sure, let's stop here. Aoi Sakamoto, the waifu. Naoto Oyama, the voice of Linaris in Ishura, Giselle in Bleach, Iko in Shy, Rin in Eurocamp. Who else do we have here? Elf Archer in Goblin Slayer, Ruka in Kanojo Okarishimasu, Tomoe in Seishun Butayaro, Haruna in Kongo and Kongo in Kankole, Kalina in those frontline, Hiyori in Precon, plenty of gacha roles, it seems, and plenty other roles as well. Okay. Lu Xiaotang, voiced by Ayane Sakura. We haven't met them, but let's check them out ahead of time. Heisuke Mashimo, voiced by Ryota Suzuki. Yoichi Nagumo, voiced by Natsuki Hanae. Ayane Sakura, the voice of Lu Xiaotang. Also the voice of Toka in Grisaya, Aira in Dandadan, Ochako in Boku no Hero Academia, Solution Epsilon in Overlord and Pleiades. Indeed. Someone from Ultraman. Iori from Blue Archive. And plenty other roles. Felicia Mitsuki in Magia Record, Chieru in Precon. And yeah, plenty other roles. Certainly a recognizable voice. Ryota Suzuki voicing Heisuke. Also the voice of Suzaki in Fairy Tail, Rent in Nozomane Fushino Boukensha. Haven't seen it, but I've read the manga. Who else do we have that I would recognize? Bisco in Sabikui Bisco. Finally a familiar face. Yu in Kaguya-sama. And plenty other roles. Natsuki Hanae, the voice of Yoichi. Also the voice of Beam in Chainsaw Man. Also the voice of Sikru in Shangri-La Frontier. Kitty the Owl in Goodbye Earth. Bye-Bye Earth. Tanjiro in Kimetsu no Yaiba. Botchan in Shinigami Botchan. Those are recognizable roles. For sure. 9S in Arknights. In Nier Automata. And plenty other people as well. Osaragi voiced by Saori Hayami, boiled, without a voice actor listed. Whenever that happens, it's probably because they're the same character as someone else from the cast, and they don't want to reveal it ahead of time, but we'll see where that goes. Takamura, voiced by Hochi Otsuka, the daughter, Hana Sakamoto, voiced by Hinakino. Slur. Slur is voiced by Daisuke Namikawa. Shishiba voiced by Taka Yashiro. Saori Hayami doesn't need introduction. Victoria Ivanova Serebriakov, sorry. Or Visha from Yojo Senki, of course. That's how I learned of her name, and that's when I started recognizing her in pretty much every role that she has. Very recognizable voice. Nagisa in Blue Archive. Falin Toden in Dungeon Mesh. Your Forger in Spy Family, of course. Who else do we have here from the shows that I've seen? Tsuki Ozaki from Ozaki-chan. More Visha, more Yor. Deadmaster in Blackrock Shooter. Curious, didn't know that. Shinobu Kocho in Kimetsu no Yaiba. And plenty other roles for sure. Hojo Otsuka, voice of... Oh, so he's also the narrator, huh? The voice of Takamura in Sakamoto Days, the voice of Hans von Zettel, which is how I learned of his voice and his name, again, from Yojo Senki. Also the voice of Mahreit, or however you pronounce it, in Spice and Wolf, the remake at least. Retsu in Mahoka Koko no Rettose. Oliva Biscuit in Baki. Who else do we have here? Rat King in Arknights. And plenty other voice roles as an old man. Hinakino, the voice of Hana, the daughter. Also the voice of this Mesugaki, apparently. Also the voice of Akusara no Musume in Dandadan. The voice of Alas Ramus in Hataraku Mao-sama. Sui in Tondemo Skill Isekai. More Alas Ramus. Anya in Tsukita Laikato no Sferatu. And plenty other roles as well. Daisuke Namikawa, the voice of Slur. Also the voice of French. He's got some luck with names of his characters, doesn't he? French in Sasaki to Pichan, Genus, not Genus, in One Punch Man, Jeren in Spice and Wolf, plenty of other roles as well. We gotta speed it up a little bit. Takayashiro, the voice of Shishiba, also voiced nobody that I would recognize at a glance, I'm afraid. So we're gonna continue. Bacho, voiced by Yoshihito Sasaki. Hyo, voiced by Hiroki Yasumoto. Pisuke, voiced by Miyari Nemoto. Yoshihito Sasaki. The voice of a bunch of no images. A bunch of background characters, in other words, so probably the voice of a background character as well. Laundry Clamp in Overlord, I guess. That's a face I somewhat recognize. Hiroki Yasumoto, the voice of Miller in Sasaki to Pichan. The voice of Sado in Bleach. Who else that I would know? Miller again, Quoll in Susan of Frieren. Bjorn in Vinland Saga, as well as plenty other roles. Miyari Nemoto, the voice of a bird, also the voice of Pikachu in Pokemon Evolutions, and Helena in Pokemon Evolutions. We are getting into the background character territory, it seems. Yeah, pizza delivery guy, so I think we're gonna stop there. Boss. I guess let's check out the boss. And is announcer. I was expecting a narrator, but apparently not. The initial narration was certainly Hochu Otsuka. Oh yeah, there it is, narrator. Hochu Otsuka as well. See, I have a good ear when it comes to some voice actors, at least. Both voiced by Kenji Nomura, who also voiced Void Volks in Undead Unluck, Raystov in Saihet and a Paladin, and not many people I would recognize. Yeah. Serena Machiyama, announcer, whatever that role's gonna be, had a role in Boku no Hero Academia, a couple of them, mostly background work, and Hojo Otsuka, the voice of Zetua, the voice of Takamura, and the voice of the... Oh, there it is, narrator listed. I just missed it because there was no image anywhere here, and a dude with long ears, apparently, from Ishura second season. Versailles no Bara! What kind of a movie is that? The Bara from Versailles, sure. Fujoshi are certainly squealing in delight at the prospect. All right. An hour and 23 minutes. That's a decent time considering we had to go through the stuff and the characters. First episode of Sakamoto Days, and I found it very enjoyable. The guns did take me out of the zone, of the immersion zone every now and then. Granted, sure, I'm not gonna lie. Many a time I really was wondering whether the guns or the background was done with CG, or was it a photo with filters, or was it drawn. That was a little, I don't want to say grating, but it was noticeable enough, right? It was noticeable enough, particularly because it did clash with the art style used for characters, which was, in comparison, fairly simplistic, right? Like, the way the characters are designed is mostly patches of color with black line art, with a shadow color for every splotch, and very few highlights, if any. Meanwhile, the guns have a lot of highlights to them. Meanwhile, the backgrounds have a lot of texture. They have a lot of like tiny little intricate detail work that just kinda clashes with the characters. So that would be my criticism for it. But it's certainly nothing that can't just be gotten over with, honestly. There's been a couple of shows at least. Can't remember any specific names right now, but there was one show in particular. I watched it on the channel, but I can't remember which one was it, where I found the art style a little grating and very noticeable initially as well, but I learned to love it over time. So maybe the same thing is gonna happen here. Now, if that was the price they had to pay to give us the kind of action and the kind of animation they gave us, fair trade. Absolutely fair trade. I'd rather have this and some pretty damn good animation and pretty damn amazing action sequences than have detailed and hand-drawn, perfected backgrounds and guns, but have the action be sliding PNGs and slideshows, right? If this is the trade-off they decided to do, I mean, you picked correctly, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I certainly am liking what I'm seeing. I can only hope that when, not if, when Kagurabachi gets an adaptation, it will be at least as good as this one. There's so many rumors about the Kagurabachi adaptation that supposedly it's like Madhouse wants to animate it. They're literally biting at the rein or whatever, but I don't think anything's official, so we're gonna have to wait for Kagurabachi at least a little while more. But yeah, Sakamoto Days, I had fun. I'm liking the characters. We haven't really seen that much of them, but from what we have seen, they are fun, they're appealing, they're fun to be around. I'm loving the animation, I'm loving the action most of all. Not quite sold on the art style overall, mainly backgrounds and guns, but that's something that can be gotten over with. And yeah, I'm waiting what else it has in store. Whether it's gonna be a gang of the deal kind of thing, whether it's gonna be whether this maybe was just an introduction, and now we're gonna have like 2-parters or 3-parters where Sakamoto has to deal with all further gangs or whatever. I don't know, but I have a feeling it's gonna be a fun watch, either way. So I'm in for it, and I'm gonna be watching more for sure. But right now, I'd say that's gonna be it from me for today. But maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode, my reaction, my theories, whichever I might have had. Leave your comment down below. No spoilers, please. Spoilers can go to my Discord if you'd like. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Sakamoto Days, but also Gregory House, I Turned Into an Anime Girl, also Shangri-La Frontier Season 2, and plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified when those videos come out and when I go live, because I stream sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs absolutely nothing to do so, and it helps the channel an awful lot. And with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Rainer, Dr. Watt, Akama, Sir Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to go back to work, I guess.